Okay, let's just hold off for a second on trying to talk about what the World Wide Web is, and let's focus on what it could do.
Donna sets this whole thing in motion. So for Donna, the success or failure of this venture, even more than figuring out if there's a place for them in this World Wide Web future, is about getting back into friendship, if not into business, with Cameron.
You came all this way. It just seems like you don't want to be here.
I said I'd listen.
Reconciling with her is important to her personally, and I think she feels like Cameron could really be the cornerstone to getting a foothold in the World Wide Web.
In Vegas, you said this was a good idea.
It is a good idea, but it also has severe limitations in reality.
Our characters are discussing concepts that are almost experimental because they're so new. And yet, our characters are smart enough to see the potential in them.
The right people make it the right time. We can move this forward. We can be the people that make that future happen.
And at the same time, they're very wary about moving too fast in terms of the technology.
Okay, the World Wide Web could be the next best thing since sliced bread. But right now, we are years and years early on this, trust me.
And they're very wary about moving too fast in terms of getting back into business with each other.
Well, maybe it was a mistake, bringing everybody back together, trying to fix things.
Nobody shows up tomorrow, I'm still interested.
Big picture. What will the World Wide Web become? Short answer, who knows? They don't even know what the web is when they walk into that room. They don't know if anyone will want it, but Joe has this instinct that, well, of course they're gonna want it, it's free. Both HTML and HTTP are breathtakingly simple.
I think Cameron gets really activated for the first time in the episode when the idea of open source comes up. That with everyone creating something like the web together, some potentially amazing things could happen. And that sort of unlocks her understanding of its potential.
The moment we decide what the web is, we've lost. The moment we try to tell people what to do with it, we've lost. All we have to do is build a door.
All these characters are onto a new idea that hasn't been done, and I think that that is sort of the contagious feeling that's in the room, is that the frontier and the future is wide open.
But I sincerely believe that with the people in this room, we have a chance to build the best.
And what makes you think you have all the people in this room, Joe?
And as Tom starts to get a sense that Joe's pleasure over reconnecting with his wife has some undertones, starts to fester between them.
So eventually it gets to a point where he's like, I don't want you around my wife.
Do you know what my problem is? I don't want to see Cameron end up like Ryan.
This is how dangerous this guy is. And that could happen to anyone in this room. You could drive them to suicide.
Well, hey, lucky for us, wives don't get a vote.
Oh my God. Tom!
One of the biggest measures of Cameron's growth is coming to Donna and admitting her part in ousting herself from the company. Things fell apart, and you did what you did, but a lot of it was my fault. But I think part of that maturity is also what she deems a real clarity of being able to address a problem before it starts. Donna, I can't work with you.
Cameron is actually finally able to be really honest with Donna, and it is her honesty that is so devastating.
Do you know why I wanted us to meet here? I just didn't want to forget what had happened.
It really is about kind of finishing what was started in 1986 and the fact that that trust can never be restored.
I love this project, and I want to work on it.
There's a real tragedy to Donna's story this season because I think she was always trying to help Cameron. At least that's what she's convinced herself of. And so for Cameron to ultimately choose the idea but not Donna leaves Donna in a really isolated place. But in a place where maybe she can finally prove that she is as good at this as the rest of them, especially Cameron.
It's me. I'm headed to the office. I need a flight to Switzerland, and I need to meet with CERN when I get there.